Good morning. You know how I am when I'm driving, hey? So I stayed up kind of late after getting home. Is my forehead ever shiny? Does my forehead look really shiny to you? Okay. I figure now that that rabble rouser Dave is gone, I can get some quiet, peace and quiet in here. Get serious about playing a game, hey? The superpower you gain is you never get bored at this level. That's one of the superpowers. Hi, Blinky from Ontario. Now you too, no passing class, okay? This multiverse thing is all the rage now. When you're alone, you can do that. You can blow your nose and then just throw the tissue behind you. Yeah, so we're in Kali Yuga, at the very end of Kali Yuga. So yeah, there's a sense of urgency now, I believe. I I see the extinction of the species within 2 decades. So doesn't get more urgent than that, I don't think. Basically, these two messages, the way that I've interpreted them as messages, first is them as messages, and second, interpret them kind of what they're saying. One says, "You're God," and the other one says, "You better hurry the fuck up and realize this." That's basically what these two messages are saying. Like, humanity's completely insane. We just don't recognize how insane we are because everyone's basically at the same level of insanity. It's we're going mad, and we're going to end up in hell. Like, where do these ideas and drawings and just all come from? Or the apocalypse? Well, we've done this before, and now we're going to do it again, and it's going to be pretty bad, relatively speaking. Yes, it's yeah. The Ramana had said, if you want to help humanity, first realize the self. But this urgency, I feel, is personal, but not in a selfish way. Exactly. There is a collective consciousness, and every time that you're a part of this consciousness. So you're injecting stillness, if you will, into the collective. So in a way, we're almost like Atlas, our little gang that has the entire human consciousness on our backs in a way. So just because we can't see how this practice is helping the world, it is. But see, when people want to help the world, usually they still have karma. They're not enlightened. So every time that they try to help the world from their egoic state, they just end up fucking things up even more, just adding more karma. So before there's action in this world, all action should come from this place of stillness. And when it does, then everything becomes more aligned. And the more aligned you are with people who are aligned, the more your life will be aligned, and your world will unfold accordingly. No, you are the collective. Like, if you believe in the ego, then you are being driven by the collective. But if you know that the ego, that whole consciousness is within you, then you're the boss of your world. Yeah, if you feel something within you, then it's legit, and you have to look at it and see if it is legit. But when it, yeah, it's if you feel it, you feel it. So it's real for you. But I feel that we're far more intuitive than we know. And I think the way things are increasing in frequency and the movement within humanity in mind and physically, we know almost that the experience itself is running out. Like time is running out, and we know intuitively that there's an extinction event. And it's almost like if there's evolution and there's a shortage of things, it's like there's a shortage of experience left. There's a shortage of actual experiences left to have. So it's like everyone's competing to have this experience before everything goes away. Yeah, whatever arises and passes, just watch it arise and pass. And understand, really. One way of putting it is finding what doesn't change. So every time go to the stillness, the Mona, it's the quality is always the same. The quality of the awareness is always the same, but the content of that awareness is always different. I don't have my computer plugged in, apparently. crisis averted. Dreams can be different, just legitimate realms as this. I mean, it's this is as unreal as a dream, really. Hello, solution seeker. I don't know. Feel free to play with it, uh, study it. It's my dream to have someone actually like study it. I think it probably has. I hesitate to assign applications to it, but it probably does have lots of applications. But I don't know. I hesitate to expand on it. You know what I mean? I don't think it should be expanded upon. I don't know. Well, the binary system is basically everything. I think the 0 1 model is a representation of Brahman Atman. And I think that's probably 0 1 and the relationship between Brahman and Atman. You can derive everything from that model, I believe. Everything from just the interaction of 0 and 1. But it has to be like the situation of looking into a mirror. So Atman is Brahman, but Brahman isn't Atman. So there's that immediate reflection that's perfectly expressing Brahman, but it's the reflection. So it's not exactly Brahman, but it is. And that's 0 and 1. So again, 1 equals 0, but 0 doesn't equal 1. Yeah, I believe so. I believe like it's just psych. So I believe that maybe there's 9 of these. Let's say that it goes 1 0 1 0. That's kind of all it. But if it does that 9 times, then I don't even know if 9 means anything, or if it's 9 times, or if it's just a number of times that this system iterates, and then something new happens, and it's another new 0 and 1. So basically, yeah, I believe that binary can explain is even a more fundamental expression than 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 blah blah blah. Yeah. But with fewer symbols in there, the interpretation has to be grander, right? So you have to make more of a jump between what 0 and 1 is actually expressing to what 0 and infinity is expressing. So there might be a leap of interpretation that some people don't want to make that big of a leap. Well, what does 0 and 1 mean, right? So, but it does seem to be something fundamental within the creative process, because 0 and 1, well, that's what, right? That's what computers run on, I guess. I think the most important part to realize, and if you do see it, please let me know, or if it's obscured, please let me know also, is that it's message. That's the big thing, is that the information of negative and 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, infinity is message. And the incorrect interpretation of the message has led to this the expansion of mathematics itself, right? So this is why it's kind of a theory that disproves all other theories, and in that way it kind of comes out as the champion because it beats the shit out of all the other theories. If it makes sense that this is actually, the information actually means something, and it has meaning and reason, and that it's a message. See how this could be a really big deal, right? Relatively speaking, a big deal. Yes. It's like the Ouroboros, or like Wheeler's participatory universe. It's one makes the zero, one makes the zero, one makes the zero. It's kind of like that. Again, I'll just touch on this one more time, that I believe that, because I worked on the, like, what could be more fundamental than 0 and 1, or Brahman and Atman, right? So another analogy that works really well is that the act of looking into a mirror. So you can say, that's me, but I'm not that. So that's what what it means when I say 1 equals 0. That's me in the reflection. That's me in the mirror, but I'm not that. So 1 equals 0, but 0 does not equal 1. Atman is Brahman, but Brahman is not Atman. That is me, that is the reflection of me, but I am not that. Same thing. In different language. So at best, all language slash thought is just pointers to the nature of being, and at worst, it prepares is self, also reflecting infinitely in the two mirrors facing each other. Yeah, so this is the way I think it actually occurs is that beyond those initial symbols, like the initial message, which is the two messages, right, are the positive, zero, and negative, and how that fits in the system. And the other message is, well, zero, one, but zero, one to infinity. So when those messages are misinterpreted, that equals samsara, right? So the misinterpretation of the messages continues on, and you get deeper and deeper into delusion as you keep searching for. You assume that the initial interpretation is correct, and then you just run with it. That's what you ended up with. We end up with mathematics and technology and everything that's created the very screen to which we are addicted. So is self reflected infinitely in the two mirrors? Yeah. So the way I see it is that there's the initial mirror of Atman, which is the physical realm. Right? So there's a relative form of existence. I know I exist through my senses, which is Atman, an immediate mirror. But what happened within consciousness is that human consciousness realized the I am not that, right? It realized that I'm actually not the body. So a lot of people, most everyone thinks that humanity thinks it's the body, but that's only half correct because humanity actually knows, it has the intuition that it's not the body, right? So it knows I am not that. So consciousness that hasn't recognized what it really is, all it will do is it'll have to create, it'll have to project a second mirror. And then that mirror, when two mirrors are facing each other, they just infinitely creating infinite illusory realms. So that's where we're at. We don't know. We're kind of in this limbo as well. Which one am I? Am I the body? No, no. I know that intuitively I'm not the body, so I must be mind, right? So the pendulum is swinging back into just the thought realm, which is the mind of mind, body, spirit. She. She's a purebred, so she's special. So much of Langan's stuff is just semantics, isn't it? It really is just semantics. And it's like, well, are you going anywhere? Or are you just spinning your tires, buddy? Right? If you're going out of your way to create more language, or like your language is very complicated and self-referral to other, it's just not correct, right? Like a model is supposed to make something simpler and easier to understand. This is what how can these guys think that their models are truth when even I don't understand what they're fucking saying, and I'm pretty smart. Like, it just uh, see, what I'm doing is I'm really revealing. You see, I believe that you see how I'm revealing exactly what Maya is doing, and the ego doesn't want that because it's the, the ego is fucking Maya, so they don't want to break that up. What I do like about Langan is that he includes spiritual, right? He includes religion, he includes the spiritual, and he almost goes as far, I think, as saying that spiritual may be more. I don't know. I don't get into his stuff that much, but at least he recognizes the validity of religion. Yeah, the irony of the truth is that it would be the simplest self-evident we feel the need to prove it. That's exactly it. The more true something is, the more self-evident it will be, and therefore it will require less proving or less convincing that it's true, because the self-evidency of it is is truth. So I think the truth needs to be really observed more than it does anything. Yeah. See, they don't recognize the inherent fault with symbol and language itself. They don't start back enough. They make an assumption that language is somehow correct. But then he tries to fuck with the language too, doesn't he? I think with these guys that are close is that they just don't get the stillness, right? They just don't have a deep understanding and experience of stillness, of just effortless thought-free awareness. They haven't had what I'm sitting here doing. They don't know this intimately. They can't get to the zero being the fundamental reality. There's always something there, whether it's a thought or a or something, right? There's always something or some thought as fundamental. So what most of them do, they just shift it over. Oh, well, materialism isn't correct, but now we're just going to shift it over to say that mind is fundamental, which really does nothing to solve the dualistic problem, does it? Well, it depends what that word does in here, right? How your consciousness understands or views the word nothing. I think the biggest problem that we have is our conceptualization of nothing. Oh, thank you. I'm so happy when people understand what the hell I'm talking about. But our conceptualization of nothing is the problem because it's viewed as a void or a non-existence. So, and non-existence is an abomination. There's no such thing as non-existence. It's immediately a paradox. It exists as a concept, therefore it exists. But yeah, it exists only as a concept, and that's the only way that it can be experienced. So it's just as much as an illusion arising and a passing as as the physical realm. The best way to do it, I think, is to say that nothing reality is nothing that can be described. It's not a void or a lack. It's simply nothing that can be described. Yeah, I'm from Canada. The CTMU actually has a triune system in the form of information, cognition, and the relation between the two. It just doesn't see the need to break the illusion. But what's the relation? Information, cognition. Yeah, so there's this thing about the triune systems that are listed in my fundamental model of reality. There's superpositions, right? It's not three things. So someone can say, well, it's like a bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich. No, it's not like that. It's 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 right. You understand how it's if it's not if the triune system isn't a superposition where there's one and two but not three, then it's not exactly the triune system that I'm talking about, right? It has to be this special state of superposition. But the superposition is the reality. And the dualistic poles of that are the appearances. There you go. Yeah. Information is matter based. Well, cognition is mind based. And telos, I don't know what telos means. Awareness is spirit based. Yeah, it could be. Yeah. The reality always has to be the awareness, which is the Tao, which cannot be described. And then they just keep trying to. You see what I mean? Is that they don't understand. I believe that the triune system, the fundamental model of reality, is named the fundamental model of reality because you can't get any more fundamental. It it expresses the arising of dualism itself, right? So how can you get more fundamental than something that's expressing the very arising of dualism? If you broke open the yin, it would be that again. If you broke open the yang, it would be that again, right? It's just this is the this is the hologram. It's a holographic expression of self, of reality. There is duality and there is no duality at the same space and time. Yeah, it's a you're kind of shifting perspectives. You can see things as, or you can see things without any bias at all, just pure witnessing, pure observation, and then there would be no duality in that. Yeah. I agree with you. I'm just saying that your idea and Langen's idea are very similar and using different language to describe the same thing, but you do take it one step further, making your model more fundamental. Yeah, thank you. I just can't see how it How you can get more fundamental than those triune systems. And again, this is more of a discovery, right? So something fundamental, I believe, would be more apt to be discovered than so when I show that list of those triune systems, that model, it's more of a just a recognition, a recognizing, right? I just saw it. I didn't create that. I just saw it and then made an interpretation of it, tweaked it a little bit with the language, with the thing, nothing potential. But I believe the very fact that it wasn't created, it didn't take a lot of mental churning to create that model. That shows to me that it is fundamental. Something fundamental should be discovered, not created. And then, unfortunately, the interpretations of those revelations get the revelation all fucked up. Yeah, that very well could be, yes. And you could phrase that as being a game. You could see that entire the knowing what it is not and then coming to know what it is again. Well, that could be seen as a game, entertainment. I'm not sure if that makes any sense at all. The very thought of limitation is the limitation. Every thought that arises is a limitation on pure potential. That's a He just created a paradox. Yeah, I think he just I'm so glad, solution seeker, that you're investigating this. It's it's taken a long time to get people to actually to find people who actually understand it and want to understand it even more. It's great because it's very novel, and the fact that you're getting it is testament to your advanced stage, I guess. How can a limit create limitlessness? It doesn't make any sense. Limitlessness doesn't need something to make it so. Limitlessness, potentiality, pure potentiality is the natural state. It is fundamental reality. So there's no process required to create limitlessness. That process itself would create a limit. There's no way to get out of it once you get into it. So you just have to not get into it in the first place. The very, very first thought that arises, the very, very first one, even the very first fucking word of that sentence, of that thought, should be dropped immediately upon recognition because it's meaningless. Peterson, if you're talking about Jordan Peterson, he doesn't understand no inherent meaning or energy to it. I don't think he does. Limits exist, yes, and it's possible to create, yes, but you're only creating the illusion. You're only creating samsara. And all of that is the purpose of all of that is to get out of it. The purpose of all of this mess is to just get out of the mess. It's just entertainment, it's just a game. Yeah, plays the game for entertainment. Oh, thanks. I can come across as a prick on that channel. I know I can. I apologize. I apologize to all with all the my shortness and almost rudeness at times, but yeah, ultimately I don't know, James, if it really matters if we figure out the why, as long as we get to, yeah, that's I mean, again, simplicity. Maya wants to keep us busy. That's all of this. Every single thing that arises that vies for your attention, every single experience that pulls your awareness away from self, this deep, deep introspection, anything that pulls your awareness away from that, well, that's Maya. All experience. It's hard core, I know. Yeah, why is a thought, but it may be the most important one. I think the why is the one that that can really at least get one searching for the exit. The why can at least points outward, whereas the other ones, who, what, when, how, where, they're all pointing at the illusion itself. I'm gonna go grab some water. I'll be right back. That's right, James. Shut up. I did. Unfortunately, I kind of messed up and I had to put it into two parts. And I think a lot of people just watch the first video and don't watch the second video. It's called The Emperor Riding the Elephant in the Room Has No Clothes. So it's funny because, of course, the people that put it on, they're all about teaching math, right? I think it's a math tuition course, and my submission basically points out that all mathematics is incorrect, the wrong interpretation, and leading to samsara. So probably won't win anything. What do you think about Rupert Spira? Are there certain points of disagreement you have with what he teaches? I think he considers himself to be a non-dualist. Yeah, I've got a problem with a lot of non-dualists. Rupert doesn't really say that this realm is an illusion and that it concludes. And he's not hardcore about thought. He doesn't stress the importance of transcending thought. So I think he's like Advaita light. He's he's very pleasant and soft spoken and nice, but and I don't think he's wrong. I just don't think he's comprehensive. He waffles around the edges too much. He doesn't, you gotta, ugh. Advaita light. That's an interesting. It's see, but this is why Bernardo likes him because he's soft enough that he doesn't challenge Bernardo on all of his thinking. So it's an interesting. I like it because Bernardo is very open and he just switches a realistic problem over to mind. Oh well, it's not like materialism isn't correct. Okay, the physical realm isn't fundamental reality, but then he just says that mind is, but it's not rigid. You see, it's his model, if he has one, isn't very rigid and obvious and succinct. It's you can't just shift the problem over to mind and say, "Oh, well, I've got it. Now fundamental reality is mind." Well, no, it's not because that's just part of the mind body complex, dualism. It's just the other half of the dualism. So, but that's why he gets along with Rupert because Rupert doesn't call him on it. Rupert doesn't say, "No, sorry, mind isn't fundamental either." So then they can go on discussing for another hour rather than just getting to this. I hope to be on toe as well. If he would be open enough to actually engage in this discussion, it would be a pretty good discussion. Yeah, he got freaked out though. He started meditating and he started going down the spiritual route, and his world started unraveling as it does with everyone that goes down the road, because the illusion needs to be unraveled. And he freaked out, and now he doesn't want to touch spirituality anymore because it's too scary. He's gone off. You see, he said at the beginning of the year that he was going to at the end of the year he's going to go more into the Eastern philosophies and more into spirituality. Well, TikTok, it's the end of the year, so we'll see if he stays on the spiritual path, or if he freaks out and goes more into philosophy and physics and math. What's your outlook on God complex? Well, then that means that it's coming from ego. So you can't just see, you are God, but the ego can't say that I'm God. So usually when someone says that I'm God, that's actually the ego saying that I'm God, right? Like Roy Dobson is God. It's like, no, that would be a God complex. But if you can say there is no Roy Dobson, and that which is being described as Roy Dobson or is appearing as Roy Dobson is God, then that would be a correct statement. Yeah, but then you're just falling back into thought. So again, the practice nullifies all this before problems even start, right? If you're adhering to the one step path, then you knock that shit down immediately before it even develops into a question or a problem. So you can't see, here's the thing, James, is you can't let a thought process develop into a full-fledged question which requires more thinking, because then you're just going down the path of delusion again and distraction. Like Paige said, Maya just wants to distract you. And that fully developed sentence, that's a thought that is introducing the potential for another thought, then already Maya has you. You see what I mean, right? The answer doesn't matter. The question doesn't matter. The answer doesn't matter. It's the process that matters. Maya is pulling you away from attention of the self. See what I mean, right? Well, yeah, a cult cannot develop. Basically, nothing can develop. Nothing can be created if you just don't let thought develop. It just collapses back into being immediately. So we generate all these thoughts and then we try to fix the thoughts with more thoughts, right? So here's the question then, how do you operate in the world properly? Well, you don't, and it doesn't fucking matter. See what I mean? Ramana didn't give a shit about operating the world. He went and sat in the basement of a temple on a slab of concrete until he was going to die. Ants started fucking eating him. Like right? You see what I mean? None of it fucking matters. Well, how are you're going to operate in a dream world? I understand this is really hardcore, but we're hardcore here, right? Even these little spiritual one-liners that, oh, isn't that clever? What, like, why? What? Yeah, okay, it's clever. Yeah, and just don't add things to it. Don't make the game more complex. Move towards simplicity all the time. Make it the goal to, if I always suggest that whenever you have spare time and whenever you get bored, rather than filling it with some sort of and relative entertainment, then just do this. And all your spare time, or whenever you have spare time, and there's a lot of spare time if you don't stop, if you stop adding shit to your life, then all your spare time is spent this. Because it's the highest state. There's nowhere to go once you no longer want to move. Yeah, like, yeah. Like, so I don't know how deeply you all are getting into the stillness, but I'm telling you, man, it's self-fulfilling. There's nothing fulfilling about watching YouTube videos. It's all empty entertainment, isn't it? So I'm just letting you know that for me personally, this is the highest level. Contentment and having no desire and being just perfectly happy. That's it. There's not some ecstasy or like it's just really, really happy and present. As Ramana said, it's the pristine state. So again, it's just turning right instead of turning left. Left being always searching for something to do, and turning right is just sitting and being. Having no screens in your house is awesome, or one that requires a lot of effort to put up. It's just like any addiction. Like once you get rid of it, it's easy. Like once you break the addiction, you almost have an aversion to the screen because this is so much more fulfilling. That's fantastic. That's how I started out too. You just do your 1 hour and then as you remember during the day, oh yeah, if you find yourself in la la land, just come back. Oh, okay. Yeah, just as well as best you can, just keep coming back to the space between thoughts. That's all you need to do. Just never give up, just never quit, just always just keep coming back and being aware of the space between thoughts. And this Roy Dobson dude sitting here, he's just affirmation that it can be done. And what's on the other side of all that is well what you're seeing, right? You can I'm pretty sure you can tell I'm just sitting here in bliss. But it's not again, it's not an attainment and you're not trying, you're not striving for anything. You're letting go and realizing your true nature. There's no amount of effort that can get you to effortlessness. How does Shanya say it? Namaste. Namaste. Yeah, I don't understand why so many of these teachers just blah 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 blah. They don't just actually show what the blah 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 is pointing to. It's mostly just the blah blah blah. It's fun saying blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. Okay, stop it. No, we're laughing with you, Blinky. Shot or just the drum roll? Never mind. Right? There's a rim shot at times. They hit the side of the drum and it goes tick. No thoughts, no time. Oh yeah, by the way, this is the way you can send time as well. It's pretty super cool to not feel the flow of time. Pretty super cool. Birds on my house. I actually think they're woodpeckers. Yeah. Think they're get out of here. Folly is a good word, though. I am not aware of Angelo, that person. No. Okay, so now it comes out. Blinky, your name is Maria. You again. Come on, then. Now Callie will leave because she gets jealous. Uh, Not so much on the pool table. No. Callie, the destroyer of illusions. Okay, SS. I will check out Angelo. I gotta go open some drapes. I'll be right back. This house is very large and has lots of windows, so when the sun is out, we like the heat. Callie saw the bird through the window. Now she's a little excited. No, no. Next famous scene, she'll be climbing the drapes or something. Yeah, Callie's in the dream for sure. Aren't you, Callie? Yeah. I think nature is more in a state of unity. There's a symbiosis that's going on. See, if no thoughts arise in your consciousness, then there aren't any separately existing objects, are there? So, in a way, all of nature is in this unified singular whole, and human consciousness or superimpose the realm of thought over top of it. So, in a way, they are more present, yeah. But I feel like humans are more self aware, whereas animals believe they're the body. Humans know intuitively that we are not the body, which again is the state of knowing what we are not, but not knowing what we are. So that's why we're a freaking mess and animals get along with nature. So do thoughts have to be in language, or can thought manifest in other ways? So the way some people think that thoughts are everything. Thoughts are what? So they equate thoughts with electrical impulses that are going on in the brain. So in that way, they think that, well, this is a thought because this requires or uses or is in some sort of causal effect with things that are happening in the brain. So what I say are thoughts, I mean the voice in your head and your mind's eye, right? Whatever the mind's eye, imagination, dreams, those things to me are thoughts, but the firings of neurons in your brain that cause the hands or that are related to the hands somehow, I don't think those are thoughts. So to me, thought is the voice in your head, language going through, and imagination, your mind's eye. And I think it's important to have these things not ambiguous. That's why my model is this is the way it is. This is the perspective my model is taking. And if you don't agree with that, then okay, that's fine. But the model has to be succinct and obvious and not ambiguous. Well, gang, I think I'm going to call it at that. This. Thanks for being a part of this community and supporting each other and just grooving on the wavelength. Grooving. All right. Take it easy, gang. Look for my talk with Richard Doyle on Tuesday. I think it's going to be a good one.